Peace and love, everyone. Sending you all high vibrations and great light. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the 42 laws of Ma'at. Okay, how can we use these laws to help us elevate to our highest potential? Okay, the 42 laws came from Kemet. Okay, Kemet was one of the first mother civilizations that practiced African spirituality, balancing the mind, the body, and spirit as a whole. Okay, so this actual ritual was called the weighing of the heart. So when we look at Ma'at, she was symbolic to balance, morality, peace, justice, harmony. Okay, so what she did is she weighed individuals that were going to go on to the afterlife. She weighed them on the scale to see if their heart was light as a feather. So she had Asar, Dahuti, and also Anubis assist her with the weighing of the heart. Okay, so the person that was going on to the afterlife, they would have to go in front of the 42 judges. So far as Western court system, okay, if an individual went to court, they had to go in front of the jurors, and the jury would help the judge determine if the person was innocent or not. Excuse me. So this is basically how the 42 judge worked. They will actually determine if the person would go on to the afterlife and live a blissful life eternally with the gods, or would this person have to go back and reincarnate to earth and try it over again. Okay, so if the heart was light as a feather, it would go on and live a blissful eternal life of happiness, peace, joy, harmony with the gods. And if the person's heart was weighed down by greed, fear, negativity, they will have to go back to earth, reincarnate, and try it all over again. Okay, so the person would confess. They negative confessions or the 42 laws of Ma'at to the 42 judges. Okay, so the 42 judges was able to determine, okay, they have confessed the 42 laws. I feel that they have a heart of love, and I feel that they can go on to the afterlife and live a blissful life with the gods for eternal. Okay, so they determined that. Okay, so I'm going to state the 42 laws and just tell you my interpretation of it. When we're dealing with these laws, they wanted us to have the understanding of not to live in fear, not to live like something that's hanging over our head, but to help us to tap into our true divinity of ancient knowledge, of living righteous, of living with a heart full of love, full of joy, full of peace, and light as a feather. Okay? So they didn't want us to look at it as looking over our head, being fearful, because they had the understanding that fear is a low vibrating energy, and it makes man be in a low state of mind, in a fearful state of mind once we have something that is over our head to feel like it's pressure. So it was more the laws to help us to tap into our true divinity, to help us to elevate to a high frequency of love, to help us to transmit if we were in the energy of Set. Set was the god that killed his brother Asar, and he was known as chaos, low vibrating, anger, greed. You know, he was known to carry that energy. So they want us to have the understanding that we can transmit from low vibrating energy, negativity, to reach the higher ka, okay, of the God that dwells within us. Okay, so they want us to have the understanding of that. So not to live in fear, but to have the understanding to live righteous, live peaceful, and live that like the gods that we are, basically. So they also want us to have the understanding as within, so without. Just like now in the physical world, we have gods that watch over us and protect us. Okay, so as we go to the afterlife, we have gods that watches over us and protects us and guides us as well. Okay, always be familiar with that. So the first law, and it's going to be a part 1 and 2. Okay, I have not committed sin. So sin is basically like doing something that we know that is not good. 555 on the clock. I have not committed robbery with violence. Okay, so you haven't took something from someone and acted in an act of violence, hitting and doing something that is not kind at all. I have not stolen, so you haven't taken nothing that is not yours. I have not slain men or women, so you haven't killed anyone. I have not stolen food, so like I said, you haven't taken anything from no one. I have not swindled offerings, so you haven't tricked no one out of their possessions. Okay, I have not stolen from gods or goddesses, so you haven't taken anything from no one that you know that is not yours. I have not told lies. Okay, you have been an honest individual. You have not told lies. You've been honest with a pure heart. I have not carried away food. Okay, so you haven't taken anything from no one. I have not cursed. Okay, we can use cursed in 2 ways. We can curse someone by putting a spell on them, or we can curse them by saying negative words. Okay, I have not closed my eyes to the truth. Okay, as us being a collective consciousness, 717 on clock, we want to be able to take in constructive criticism. Okay, take in knowledge from our peers to help us elevate and have us to look at things with a bird's eye view. So we always want to open our eyes up and take in different, opinions of things. Even if it's in our life as a personal decision we need to make, it's okay to actually take in others' advice. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I have not committed adultery, so you haven't slept with anyone or, that was married that have another significant other. I have not made anyone cry. Okay, you haven't hurt anyone. If you make someone cry, that is a negative energy. It's a low vibrating energy, and you can hurt someone if they cry, far as their feelings. I have not felt sorrow without reason, and that's basically you have not lived in a negative energy of doubt, fear, depression, and